var goer och dyre, vi ville bli gift, men en präst var inte enkelt och fin. Da hørte vi noe bannskap til singla i glass, og Bjørn Eidsvåg kom ramla ned. Halleluja! Og jeg svaret ja, og Cindy sa yes, og snart lå vi der godt begge to. Jeg fortalte om Åmot og Ulvang og Sputnik, hun sa at Norge er landet mitt nå. Det er min dag i dag, herregud for en herlig dag. Det er min dag i dag. Det er min dag i dag, herregud for en herlig dag. Det er min dag i dag. Ja, det er min dag i dag, herregud for.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another DVD review by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to talk about a film in the Rec franchise, a film by the name of Rec 3 Genesis. If you don't know what the Rec films are, they're pretty much a found footage film, and they pretty much retell a sort of zombie story, but they kind of spin a zombie story on its head. We had the first Rec where a girl was yelling in an apartment, and some people in the apartment complex called a fire department, and they came out and found out what was happening. And we found out the events that happened in the first Rec, and this thing breaks out, and we end up finding out that it's not really zombies at all. It's actually something different, but the way they act is kind of like zombies. So then in Rec 2, we find out the whole. If you haven't seen the Rec movies, don't listen to what I'm saying, because I'm going to get very spoilerish for the first two Rec movies. But then with Rec 2, we find out about the whole demons and that whole thing. We find out that it's actually like a sort of demon zombie virus, that, the demon that was being held up in the room. And at the end of Rec 2, the demon gets its head blown off, and then her spirit or her soul goes off into the main reporter character's body, and then she gets escorted out of the apartment complex, and that's the way Rec 2 ends. Well, now Rec 3 Genesis is not a sequel to the movie Rec 2, but it's actually a prequel to the entire franchise. It takes place before the events of both Rec 1 and Rec 2, and it actually takes place at a wedding. And pretty much here's the plot of the movie titled Rec 3 Genesis. Genesis, of course, means the beginning, pretty much. Well, like I said, it takes place at a marriage. There's this very young couple getting married, and pretty much it tells the events that happened before, like I said, both before movies Rec 1 and 2. That's pretty much it. The virus that was spread in 1 and 2 is slower. They're more like slow zombies now. I mean, there are ones that are kind of fast in this one, but they're like lunging off balconies and stuff, so that's kind of cool. I don't want to give anything away, but they are kind of doing that. But most of them are fairly slow, so it's before the virus has mutated that much, and it's pretty much the events that led up to Rec 1 and Rec 2. And now here's my opinion on the film titled Rec 3 Genesis. I thought this movie was really cool. I will say it's not my favorite film in the Rec franchise. I do think it's a very, very, very cool film, and I have nothing bad to say about the film at all, really. But my favorite film in the Rec franchise is still Rec 2. I still think Rec 2 is the best, even from the Quarantine remakes of Quarantine 1 and then Quarantine 2, The Terminal. I still think that Rec 2, out of the 5 films that are now out today, I still think Rec 2 is still the best by far. It was the most creative, innovative, and it was just a really cool film in general. Rec 3 Genesis is also cool. It's directed by a guy by the name of Paco Plaza, and the weird thing with these movies is that two people directed the first two movies. Rec 1 and 2 are directed by two Spanish directors, and they directed both Rec 1 and 2. Or Rec 3 Genesis is directed by one of those Spanish directors. One of those previous guys did not return to do Rec 3 Genesis. And then Rec is also being planned for a fourth one titled Rec 4 Apocalypse. And the guy that did not return for Rec 3 Genesis is going to direct Rec 4 Apocalypse. So I know it's kind of confusing. Like I said, we have two directors on Rec 1 and 2. Paco Plaza came back to do Rec 3 Genesis, and then the other guy did not. And now the other guy that did not return to do Rec 3 Genesis, I believe his name is Guame or something like that. It's spelled with a J, J-U-M-E, I believe. Anyways, Guame, however you say his name, he is going to come back and do Rec 4, and he didn't do Rec 3. So that's pretty much how it works. So it's pretty cool that all 4 of these movies that'll be out, within the next few years are going to be done pretty much by the same 2 people. So it's pretty cool, even though that each one of them kind of took a break for 1 film apiece. It's still pretty cool that they're coming back to do the 4th film. Now, let me tell you some of the other things I liked about Rec 3 and why I thought it was such a great film. This one, I will definitely say, is the most over the top. I don't ever think, though, that it verges on the point of just ridiculousness. And the reason I say that is because there are a few points where the ideas behind it and the events going on could be taken as ridiculous, but the way it's done in kind of a serious manner, where instead of it being ridiculous and stupid, it ends up just being over the top and kind of funny in a way. Like, not a funny where you're laughing at it, but a funny, like, this is really cool. Like, I don't want to say too much, but if you've seen the movie, you probably know the scenes I am talking about. Like I said, there's a few things in there that are very over the top, but they're done in a very I would say, realistic, not knowing this would happen, but kind of they're not done in a ridiculous fashion, I should say, if for lack of a better word. But anyways, Rec 3 Genesis, I thought, was a really cool film. It, just so you guys know, it is both, kind of like Lovely Molly, it's both found footage and an actual real movie. Actually, the first 20 minutes of the film is found footage, and it's really cool the way they do it because it starts off like you're watching like a DVD of a wedding. So that was really cool, really creative. But it starts off like they're doing like a wedding. Like they recorded a wedding DVD, and that's what you're watching. You see the little slideshow of the characters in the film Rec 3 Genesis. They got married, and you see a slideshow of their pictures. And for 20 minutes in, it's this guy interviewing people at the wedding. He's going around asking them questions, that whole thing. If you've ever seen Cloverfield, think Cloverfield. He's kind of interviewing people at the reception party after the wedding and pretty much stuff like that. And then about 20 minutes in, I don't want to say what happens, but 20 minutes in, it goes to a real film, and the title credit says Rec 3 Genesis, and it doesn't even appear till 25 minutes in, and that was really cool because I've never seen that before. Like, I've seen movies go, like Lovely Molly, go back from found footage to a real movie, back to found footage, but Rec 3 Genesis did it in a way where I would say it's probably more unique than Lovely Molly, which was directed by one of the men who did the Blair Witch Project. Just a fun fact. Anyways, it was really creative what they did with that, and I just thought it was really cool. And then there's a few times where a character will give another character in the film Rec 3 Genesis a camera, and he'll use that camera for a few minutes. But most of the movie Rec 3 Genesis, besides the first 20 or 25 minutes, most of it is in a real film footage. Now let me talk a little bit about the ending of Rec 3 Genesis. I'm not going to get spoilerish, don't worry. I just want to say how this is probably my favorite ending to the entire Rec franchise. And the reason I say that is because it was kind of a perfect ending. Like, not that the series can't go on, because, I am anxious to see Rec 4 Apocalypse. By the way, that starts filming early next year in 2013, and it is intended for a release. Hopefully it doesn't get slated, I'm sure, or pushed back. I'm sure it won't. But it is intended for a release date in October of 2013 next year, so I can't wait for that. But anyways, I really thought the ending to Rec 3 Genesis was perfect. It was by far, it's not the creepiest ending. I'd say Rec 2 probably has the scariest and creepiest ending, but it was my favorite ending just because of, it's kind of an over-the-top scene, and they play some things up in there that I really didn't expect them to go that far with, and I'm glad they did, because overall, it just made Rec 3 Genesis, if I had to say, for a lack of better words, if I had to say anything about Rec 3 Genesis, it's a very fun film, and you have fun the entire time watching it, and I never got bored one time while watching the film. Anyways, that's my review for the film and the Rec franchise titled Rec 3 Genesis. Just so you guys know, the reporter that played, the girl that played the reporter in both films, Rec 1 and 2, will be returning, I repeat, will be returning for the film Rec 4 Apocalypse. So, I guess I'll see you guys in 2013, and I will definitely be reviewing Rec 4 Apocalypse. Anyways, I'll see you guys then, and make sure to be looking for other videos until then on my channel. Once again, thank you for all my subscribers. Thanks for the comments. Like, comment, subscribe below, and I will see you guys later with another DVD review.